Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we have some huge, massive okay, I'm gonna stop. We have some big news for Granblue Fantasy versus Rising, and it's the date for the beta test, the open beta test this time, which will be available on PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, and Steam. Huge. This one actually features crossplay. We'll read through this real quick. It says here that it lasts from November 9th to November 12th, but it's a bit of a lie. We're gonna read more about this, and we'll talk about it more in detail. I'm going to use this opportunity actually to talk about the game and the mechanics as well, just in case people are in need of a refresher for what's going on in Granblue currently, and also what are the new mechanics. So if you really want to know everything about this game before you get into it, it would be nice to actually stick around, or I will leave actually chapters in the video like I always do, in case people want to just skip ahead to the parts that they are interested in. Anyways, so let's go through the details of this big news. So first of all, we have crossplay. Yay, crossplay is finally available for the beta, so face players across multiple platforms in the latest online beta. So quickly here, they say this beta is open to all players and will focus on testing crossplay for multiple game modes to help further polish and ensure the game's quality at launch. That is pretty huge. They also mention here that PlayStation 5, 4, and Steam users will be able to battle with each other in casual matches, lobby matches, hone their skills in training mode, that's huge, and engage in mini-game mayhem with up to 30 players in Granblue's Legends. I know a lot of people have been excited about this. During maintenance downtime, players will be able to play offline against the CPU. So remember when I said this was a bit of a lie, the November 9 to 12 is a bit of a lie because there's going to be a bit of downtime in the middle, but we'll be able to actually play offline still. So the available characters will be pretty much all the characters from Granblue Fantasy Versus, right, the original game, and this time we'll have Siegfried and Anila. So last time we only had Siegfried. That was good, and he was really fun to play. Definitely the most popular character of the beta for sure. But we didn't have Anila for some reason, even though she was revealed much earlier than Siegfried. I think they wanted to, get the hype first with Siegfried. But I think a lot of people are super excited for Anila as well. So that's pretty good that we have this character. The only missing characters are Grimnir and Nier. Probably the most complex character that they've revealed so far. And somehow they're not available. I think it's pretty funny, but they'll be available in the actual game when it comes out. I think they just want to keep that for whenever they actually release the game, anyways, so these are the actual time windows for the beta. They are 24 hours pretty much each of them. There's two, so we'll be able to play from November 9 to November 10, November 11 to November 12. So there's no like time between November 10 and 11. This is where there's like a gap and a bit of a downtime in maintenance, right? So this is the part where we'll play the game offline. So that's pretty good. It's pretty much I think it's pretty cool because it's also before my birthday. My birthday is on November 10th, so I'm pretty happy about this. It's a good gift. Thank you, Cygames. Here we have the requirements. Of course, personally, I don't really care for these because I'm playing on PlayStation 5 anyways. And you have access to, you can see all the regions and stuff like that. So here you have the languages, you have the regions where you can see how to download and how to, the access periods and everything like that. But yeah, now I want to actually talk about the mechanics of the game and the details and the things that we can do in the game in case people have forgotten, because that is definitely something that can happen. So let's go back, and considering that they have significantly changed the game again, it would be nice to actually talk about these once more. By the way, this page of the site has actually been updated with the very latest version of the game, so you'll see some crazy stuff here. So let's talk about all the things that we have in Granblue Fantasy versus Rising. First thing first, before we get really into the mechanics, I think it would be nice to talk about some ground rules and general rules about the game, like things that you have to know in general. So first thing first, the game has a ton of meter gain. During the previous beta, we had access to a whole lot of meter. It seems like it's actually a very, defined vision that they have for this game. They do not want you to never think about your meter too much, and they've improved it actually since the last beta. Now we do not have meter penalty as much as we had before when using EX moves. We build more meter by just walking around. They really want you to use your meter as much as you want, and it's because they want you to use more ultimate skills. The other thing to know is that the game also has the characters in the game have more health than they used to have in the previous version of the game. So eventually it means that the matches can be a bit longer than before, and that's for a good reason. Finally, I would like to also mention that the game has a dash macro and a guard button as well, because it seems like sometimes people forget about those. Well, the old version of Granblue, the old Granblue, didn't have a dash macro, but the dash macro for this new version is actually pretty huge. It feels very good to use, especially when you play a very slow character, for example Beelzebub or even Siegfried or Vasaraga, characters with like slow movement in general. I think that's it for the ground rules. So let's talk about the mechanics, because on this page they don't give you all the details. For example, the description for ultimate skills here is very small. It is extremely small for everything that ultimate skills are. So let's talk about the ultimate skills real quick. So first thing first, ultimate skills, what are they? They are basically a powered up version of your EX moves, or rather of your general special moves, right? They are like a super version of them. They cost 50% of your meter, and on top of that they also have a refund mechanic. So for example, if you hit somebody with an ultimate skill, it will actually refund half of what it took. So for example, if it takes 50%, it's going to refund about 25% on hit. Ultimate skills are also really good because they open up the game in a way that allows it to have mid-screen combos. This was a pretty big thing that Granblue was missing in the original game, and it was fine because it wasn't really that much of a combo game. This game, however, is more of a combo game, so it allows for mid-screen combos. There's also another thing about ultimate skills that allows you to use them even though the move is on cooldown. They actually bypass the cooldown system of the game, which is huge considering that you use a lot of EX moves in this game, and EX move have a lot of cooldown. So it's pretty cool to have access to all that. Now there's some penalties, of course. For example, you will not be able to refund your meter if you use an ultimate skill after canceling it from a normal move. So if you do like light ultimate skill, that will not actually refund. There will also be a bit of a scaling whenever you cancel it off of a normal move, of course, and there will also be 50% less damage if you do it while the move is on cooldown. Okay, one more thing about the ultimate skills before I conclude this part is that ultimate skills also allow some characters who do not have a DP to actually have a DP. So for example, we'll have characters like Metera, which is like, your zoner, a typical zoner. She doesn't have a DP, but one of her moves, actually, one of her ultimate skills is actually a DP. Same for characters like Soris or Zoe or even Eustace. They do not have a DP, so they will have one with the ultimate skills. Or if your character really doesn't have a DP, for example Zeta, they will have access to a frame 1 parry or a frame 1 armored move, which basically is kind of a DP as well, with some consequences, I would say. So that's another thing to know about ultimate moves. They have a lot of properties to them. It's pretty important to actually understand what they do, because they are a huge part of your character. Huge part. Alright, next we have to talk about dash attacks. Dash attacks are also a pretty big part of the game now. First thing first, you have 3 types of dash attacks, of course. You have dash light, dash medium, and dash heavy attacks. Something to know is that you cannot use the dash macro in order to use dash attacks. So you cannot just tap, for example, on my controller it was L2. You cannot just do L2 and press light, and you'd have a dash light. If you do L2 and you press light, you will actually have a standard light attack. The reason why they did it is because they want people to be able to run up to their opponent and still press regular attacks. Anyways, when it comes to dash attacks, like I said, there are 3 types of them, but they are pretty specific. Dash light is kind of universal. They are not made equal in my opinion, because when I played the beta, for example, Beelzebub and Vasarega had pretty bad dash light because of their like general run speed, because they're pretty slow. The dash light will actually cover a very small distance compared to characters. So a character like Grant, for example, that will cover longer distance. Dash light are also plus on block. They are +2. It's been revealed in the previous stream. If you didn't see, it's +2 on block, and if it's actually spaced properly, it will be +3. Then you have dash medium attacks. These also come in some type of variety. Some characters have slow dash medium attacks that are actually either sweeps and they will actually knock down the opponent, or they are also overhead sometimes. I've also noticed that a lot of dash medium attacks are kind of punishable. Now, the next thing to know about dash attacks is dash heavy attacks. These are pretty cool actually. So dash heavy attacks, they are punishable, of course, but you can space them out and it will be less punishable, obviously. I guess, you know, at your own risk once again. But something that's pretty cool about dash heavy attacks is that they have heavy attack properties, which means they can actually lead to a fatal counter or strife counter or red counter, whatever you want to call it, cinematic counter hit, which allows you to actually do combos and stuff like that. For example, they show Lancelot. He has a dash heavy attack that actually ground bounces the opponent and opens them up for a combo. You have some dash heavy attacks that have armor. You have some dash attacks that literally cover, I'm not even kidding you, I would say 75% of the screen. Zeta's dash heavy attack would cover a whole lot of the screen. You're not ready for that one, let me tell you. So that's a pretty interesting characteristic of characters once again. Next thing, we have triple attacks. There's not much to say about these. They're basically just pokes. You will not be able to cancel them into other moves. So triple attacks, they're basically like your auto combo. So light, 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 or you can do light, light, and then you can do overhead or light, light, sweep. They're also good because they are safe on block. So there's not really a risk when you're using them. It's just like you're going to lose your turn, and that will be the end of it. But yeah, regardless, they're pretty good. I like them a lot. The next thing is Skybound art. Now with these, man, we're actually going to have to talk a lot about other things, so don't pay attention to that. All right, so let's talk about some of the systems that they added to Granblue in general. It's a pretty big system. It's really important to understand what's going on here, because that would be basically your win condition. What are we talking about? We're talking about these 3 little things right there. They are called Bravery Points. So Bravery Points, what are they? What do they do? They're basically like how do you call it? Defense modifier? Something like that. So the way it works is basically if you have all 3 of them, right? You start the round with all 3 of them. Every round they reset and everything. So you start with 3. If you have 3 of them, nothing's happening. 2 of them, nothing's happening. If you have 1 of them, you start taking 20% more damage. If you have 0 of them, you will take 50% more damage. So this is where there's a lot of management going on. There's a bit more planning going on. This is where you want to make choices in the middle of the match, because there are ways to gain bravery points or gain them back, and there's also ways to take away bravery points from your opponent. All right, so Skybound arts, basically they consume 100% of your meter, of course. What they do now is that they have an effect. So you have your regular Skybound art, which means whenever you are at like above 30% health, they will regen 1 bravery point for you, and they will take away 1 bravery point for your opponent. If you use a super sky banana, meaning you are like below 30% of your health, they will consume 2 bravery points from your opponent. They still recover only 1 point for you though. Raging Strike, oh my god. So this is a pretty interesting mechanic because it's the God Crush move, God Break I mean. You can use it for a lot of things outside of God Break as well. Of course, it uses 1 bravery point, but it will also take away 1 bravery point from your opponent as well. It's basically a high risk, high reward type of move. So first of all, it's a pretty slow move, obviously, but you can basically do it whenever you want. They also can be used for combos. They are combo juggle tools, as you can see here, right? God Crush is a pretty interesting mechanic, though it comes at your own risk if you want to use it like recklessly, you know, so good luck with that. Anyways, next we have Raging Chain. Nothing too interesting to say about this one. It's just like a follow-up to Raging Strike. In case your opponent is too far away after you do this, it actually allows you to close the gap and immediately do like combos right after. Finally, we have Brave Counter. So your God, Cancel, Alpha Counter, whatever you want to call it, man. So it consumes 1 bravery point. So you can use it actually after getting hit by a Raging Strike. As you can see, Vasaraga pushing Namaya away here. So you can do that, but the only issue is that it will actually consume, it will take away 2 of your bravery points. So 1 for getting hit by the Raging Strike, and 2 for also using the Brave Counter right after, because you know it consumes 1 bravery point anyways. So it's a pretty solid mechanic as well. It can actually help you to steal a turn. So the last thing that I would say also is about simple inputs. But simple inputs, I would recommend using them honestly because they're really good. However, you can also use technical inputs because technical inputs will give you a 10% bonus damage when using special moves in neutral. You cannot do it. You will not get the 10% damage bonus if you do it after like a cancel. However, there's a lot of combos here that would leave you, that would like have the opponent in like a crumple state or in a stun state. In that part, you can actually use your technical inputs to increase combo damage. So that's fine. But if you do light, fireball, you're not getting that 10% damage, basically. So that's pretty much the rundown of everything that I wanted to talk about. The beta is coming pretty soon. I'm pretty excited for it. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I'm sorry if I rambled a little bit and if the bravery point section is a bit confusing, but I just had to talk about it. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.